Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the StackLeague WorkBank Career Session. I'm Casey Kalunod, and I will be your host again for tonight. We have an amazing resource speaker for the session this evening who will share with us all about DISC for Career Path. But before anything else, we'd like to give you an overview of StackLeague, especially if it's your first time to join a StackLeague event. So, before anything else, we'd like to give you an overview of Stack League, especially if it's your first time to join a Stack League event. Everyone, please help me welcome Mr. King Bartolome, our growth associate. Good evening, King.
Thank you, Casey, for that introduction. Good evening, everyone. Again, my name is King Bartolome, one of the growth associates in StackLeague. Tonight, I will be presenting a brief introduction to StackLeague. So, StackLeague is the Philippines' first year-round competitive programming league, with its mission to develop programming leaders that inspire a nation into coding. So, StackLeague, which is powered by StackTrack, is a fully automated an assessment platform to which StackLeague gathered thousands of IT students and professionals to compete and rank amongst the best programmers in the country. Since it's a competition, StackLeague offers or StackLeague have benefits that participants can leverage. So first, StackLeague, which was launched last March 16, is a pioneering programming league gathering over 5,000 tech talents across the country to test their coding acuity with the promise of nationwide recognition, thousands of prizes, hundreds of tech job opportunities, and invitation only events. Also, we have cash prize, which from 200,000 pesos, the cash prize is now at 300,000 pesos and it continues to increase. Of course, Stack League wouldn't be possible without our partners. So we have co-presenter, Job Street, gold sponsors. We have Microsoft, WorkBank, and Rakuten Viber. For our silver sponsors, we have AWS and Caliber. For our bronze sponsor, we have Accenture and our media partners Inquire.net and SparkUp. We'd also like to thank our community partners who help the league reach as many programmers in the country as possible. So here is the community partners of Stack League. Moving forward, for those who are new at Stack League, this is how the ranking system works. So you will start at the bottom with 0 points and you solve as many challenges as you can and you will earn corresponding points. The more points you get, the higher your ranking go. And the more opportunities are unlocked for you to access. These are the supported programming languages of the league. We have JavaScript, Java, Python, C Sharp, and PHP. Just to share to everyone, one of our highlights of Stack League in Stack League is the weekly ranking and treasure chest. It opened last September 5. Stack League treasure chest for team category is still ongoing. And for team category, it's launched last July 11, and now you can compete with a team consisting of 3 to 5 members for points and prizes, where the total points of the team is the sum of all individual points earned by each member. And for all individual players, Stack League playoff season has started last September 5. Here's a short clip for you to see. Moving forward, Stack League Playoffs is a single elimination tournament featuring all monthly qualifiers. All weekly top 10 Stack League participants will automatically be invited to the monthly qualifier rounds. And our first monthly qualifier round was held yesterday, September 27. Again, congratulations to the top four winners. If you want to be invited to the next monthly qualifier round, you still have a chance. If you want to learn more, visit stackleague.com. And that sums up our overview with Stack League. Back to you, Casey.
Thank you, King, for giving us a short introduction of what Stack League is all about. So, if there's anyone here who is interested in joining, just visit our website. So, before I introduce to you our speaker, may I remind everyone that if you have any questions for our resource speaker this evening, you can type them in the comment section. We will address them later at the Q&A session. Now it's time to introduce our speaker this evening. She is a certified practitioner of DISC Personality Profile by Profiles International. She is also a certified Genus Emotional Intelligence practitioner. As the training and liaison officer at WorkBank, she is tasked with recruitment, employer training and development, as well as product orientations and career seminars. With over 12 years of working experience in the BPO industry in various support roles, she has mastered the art of CV writing and job interviews. Now, currently the Talent Development Officer at WorkBank, let's all welcome Miss Tania Mendoza. Welcome, Miss Tania, and good evening.
Good evening. Thank you, Casey, and thank you for having us here. Good afternoon, or wait, no, 6 o'clock na. So good evening to everyone. I'm used to like good afternoon because of my meetings kaninang hapon. But hello everyone, and welcome to the session of DiSC for career pathing and transitioning. Well, actually, career pathing you mentioned, but we also will be including the transitioning part, especially for those who were affected. Of course, we know naman what happened in the last couple of months with the pandemic happening, and several people had to transition to different jobs or to new jobs, forced to, unfortunately, because of that. And so this discussion is going to help you determine which career path maybe would work best for you based on your personalities. So let's get on with the show, because I know I only have like a limited time to do this, but I'm very excited to share with you about DiSC and how it can be used to determine the best career paths for yourselves. So to get started, let's just look into the objectives of this session. So, first objective in the session is to determine the career paths that are suitable for each personality using the DISC model. And later on, I will discuss what the DISC model is and give you an idea, general idea of what it is, and then help you identify ideal workplace environment and culture to better assimilate and to succeed for each personality. And then, of course, I'll also show you or share with you some ways that you can use DISC in your daily life and not just for career pathing and transitioning. So to get on or to start with our discussion, I'd like you guys to first think about this question. This is a usual question that we have been asked since, I don't know, probably 5 years old pa lang yata tayo, tinatanong ka na, what do you want to be when you grow up? Parating ganyan yung tanong. And I think siguro hanggang high school ba? Probably like on your first year in high school, tinatanong ka ng ganyan, what did you want to be or what do you want to be when you grow up? And always, we will think of, like professions na feeling natin sobrang, yun, di ba? We're looking at yung mga professions na naka-uniform or yung mga professions ng mga relatives natin, older ones that we look up to. But then as we get older, we realize that, some of these parang dream jobs may not actually be what we really want to be. And, when we actually grow up and when we start, the whole adulting process or journey. So the better question I think here is, in order for you to determine what job you really want or career, sabihin na natin, what career you really want, is what is it that you are very passionate about? Because when they say when you enjoy what you are doing, you never have to work a day in your life. Kasi the whole thing just becomes sort of like parang passion lang. Like you're doing it for the love of it, that you don't feel like you're actually working at all. And while this advice is probably, like the most ideal, it always still is, parang subject to, what your preferences are, what your priorities are, of course. So your personality traits may also come into play when choosing a career that you can be passionate about. And one of the things that you can determine the career or what you're passionate about is using the DiSC assessment method or the DiSC personality profiling method. I'm not sure if anyone here or if everyone in this session is familiar with DiSC or has heard about DiSC. But to give you a general idea of what DiSC is, it's a personality profiling method used for a very long time now by scientists, by psychometricians to determine a person's personality tendencies, not necessarily yung trait or qualities, but your tendencies, your tendency to react to certain things and your tendency to excel or to fail, yung mga ganon, based on your preference. And they have actually come up with four different personalities based on all of the research that they have done. And each of the letter of the DiSC model stands for a personality. So the D stands for being dominant. So the dominant people are the commanding people. Ito yung usually mga boss or mga people who are very good leaders. And then we have the I or um the I people are those that are influencers or influencing people, those that can encourage people or are very energized and can encourage people to do something or to participate in some event or activity or something like that. And then we have the S people or the steady people, which are usually the more inclusive ones, steady lang. They're also very down to earth and they value being at peace or being in peace with everyone that they are around with. And then of course we have the letter C or the compliant personality, which are the more detail oriented people. These are the very yung common term na ginagamit nila to the highest extent would be OC, 'di ba? Yung mga super talagang very much focused into details and process, they want everything to be organized and all. So that's what each of those letters stand for. And if you haven't actually taken the WorkBank DiSC assessment yet, I encourage you guys to also try. There's a quick assessment. There's a mini assessment that you guys can take, so you would know what your DiSC personality is, and then later on we can compare that to the careers that we are going to discuss in this section. So to do that, you can go to workbank.com/StackLeague and register an account or create an account for yourself. And then once you have created the profile, you will see the option to take the assessment for DiSC. And it's probably going to take you, I don't know, less than 10 minutes to complete the whole assessment. Afterwards, we'll also give you a result via email of what your personality is based on the assessment. And then that will be our basis for this discussion. All right. So would you like to actually take this time to take the assessment, or shall I just I guess I can continue on with our discussion and you can follow. And for those of you who already have WorkBank accounts, all you have to do is log on to workbank.com and then go to profile and then look for assessments and take the assessment from there instead. All right, so let's continue on with our discussion. Today or tonight, we are to talk about the career possibilities for each of the DiSC personalities. So these are careers that are, kumbaga, swak dun sa personality of being dominant or being an influencer or being steady or being compliant. And these, of course, have taken into consideration not only the personal tendencies of each trait, but also Sorry, ano ba yan? Yung hangin. Okay, but also the work environments in which they will thrive kasi ito yung mga environments that motivate them to do well in a certain career or in a certain job. So, first let's talk about the D style. So, the dominant people. What types of jobs are dominant people? Sorry, ano ba yan talaga? Nakaloka yung one moment. Ayan. Okay. Sige. Game. So, the dominant people or yung mga medyo bossy nga or the leader types of personality. So, it's not really a bad thing naman, to be bossy or to be to be dominant in such a way because it's actually important in a lot of businesses. Someone who has a dominant personality can or who has a commanding personality sets the parang yung magiging takbo ng operations nyo, for example, and they give direction on where we are to go and they will make sure that these are met because they also like achieve they like to achieve metrics or targets or goals because that motivates them. So for these styles, um, the people that are more convincing then in such a way and that are very straightforward, yun yung what we call the high Ds. And then we have a combination DC. So ito yung may mga dominant personality and then at the same time also has a compliant personality. So these are the people that exudes, a purposeful or a determined personality. And then we have the DI, so it's a mix of dominant and influencing. So ito naman yung mga tao na very persuasive and would um yeah, they're the very commanding types. So, what are the careers suitable for people with high D or a D personality? So, as you can see, a lot of the careers that we have here mentioned or we have here listed under D are leader careers or jobs. President, founder, police officer, lawyer, diba? These are the people that really um, are bosses, 'di ba? In most cases. These are positions that or professions that display power. So even of course, being a president or being a CEO, kumbaga you give that you're the highest in the chain of command and you're the person that's leading the whole team. So if your result will come up with a D personality, this is probably something that you have aspired to be or deep inside parang this is something that you want to be because you want to practice having power over or having control and power over the situation or even how most people will work under you. And then the DCs naman, remember the DC people are those with a combination of dominant and compliant personality. And when we say compliant, again, these are the people that are very much detail oriented. So a job that allows them to lead at the same time is also focused on details, such as being attorney, di ba? If you're a lawyer or if you're a director or a manager, you have to actually be very specific with the details because this is what will determine whether you will be successful or not. Some of the industries in which DC people are also most suitable in would be jobs in the sales or finance or architecture industries or even operations kasi nga especially in these industries very important that you are keen dun sa details, that you have structure, that you have a system that you follow and that you're able to implement it properly. And then the people that have the I personality on them mixed with the dominant personality are those naman that are good with, dealing with people. These are the people that can convince another person to do something or that would influence, the kumbaga yung magiging takbo ng career of another person in a business setting. So anyone with a DI personality can consider a position as either an entrepreneur or as a recruiter or even executives or chief officers of most companies if you really wanna if you are aiming aiming high as most dominant people do. These are some of the careers that you can consider if you have a DI personality, and you will actually excel in the following industries: business, sales, recruiting, and accounting, because especially in business and sales and recruiting, di ba, you are dealing with a lot of people, and you are required to have a lot of kumbaga, influence over these people to make decisions that may be favorable to you. So um, if you figure out, after taking the test, that you have a combination of a D and an I personality, and you haven't considered this one yet, you might want to look into these industries to build your career on. Next, we look at the eye style. So the eye styles, the high eyes or the influencers are those that are very talkative, very entertaining. Ito yung parang parating life of the party. Ito yung, and we always will have that, at least one person. We would have met one person, at least one of them, in our lives, or even at work, because kumbaga, ito yung pinakamalaking chunk actually ng personality, when you look at the whole parang demographics of the whole DiSC personality styles. Another is the ID. So kumbaga baliktad siya nung DI. The DI is more dominant and a little bit influencing. This time it's reverse. Mas mataas yung influential personality type niya, but is also still dominant in a way. So it makes them or it makes it easy for them to encourage people. They have that energy to encourage people to do things. Even yung mga bagay na sometimes you don't want to do, they can convince you to do that. With I don't know, their words or with their energy, or just by yung diba, their charm, because usually the people with I personalities are also the charming ones, or at least that's what they will be referred to in layman's terms. And then we have the IS people, which are more laid back people. They like being around people, then they like to deal with people, they like to help people out. They're also very cheery because they want to make sure, that they're in good terms with everyone, like I mentioned earlier. So a combination of I and S is also common in a lot of it's very common for Filipinos actually, because we're the kind of people now, we're very accommodating, we're laid back, we don't want to step on other people's shoes, we want to just be in good terms with everyone. So, if your personality falls in the high I category, these are some of the careers that you might want to explore. Because influential people also tend to be very creative and artistic. You will see that most of the careers actually here are on the artistic side of things. Graphic artist, designer, musician, marketing professional. They still require some artistic or creative juices in them, right? So careers that would help them practice, or would help them ano pa tawag doon, develop or grow their creative side, is what will encourage, or what will make an I personality um, excel in their career. While if the person naman is a mix of I and D, and again, remember when we say D, these are the people that are, or that tend to be leaders. So their I personality will help them be be more relatable to people as either a manager or a director or founders even of an organization. So if you have an ID personality, it's actually good for you to consider a career in sales, or public relations, or talent acquisition, yung mga ganon, or mga recruitment, because you get to be around people. At the same time, you get to make decisions. Similar to the DI kanina, 'di ba? The same parang recruitment industries, medyo parehas din sila sa ID. So magiging pinagkaiba na lang niyan is yung gaano kataas yung I mo versus the D, or the other way around. And then when we talk of IS, so again, these are people that are medyo steady, laid back, but still are using their charms or their charisma to be relatable to people then, and to be able to encourage people. to do things, or to excel, or to motivate them to do things. So some of the careers that an IS can consider would be a career as either a manager, or even as a professor, or a job in the following fields: either public relations, teaching, coaching, ministry, because it's more people oriented, and at the same time it's also parang a way for them to be of service to other people. And I hope we're clear on this one. I'm trying to make this very straightforward and very clear for everyone to understand. And if you have questions, then we will accommodate them later. So I'm down to like the last two personalities before we talk about the preferred workplace environments naman. So just stay tuned. So the next personality we're talking about this time are the S style. So these are, again, the S personalities are the steady ones. They want balance. They want to be team oriented, or they are team oriented. They want to be in good terms with everyone. If you add that with an I, it's again, because it's more people oriented, and it's also um, people oriented, and it's at the same time more in extroverted. Well, no, sorry, it's a introverted in such a way that they don't actually um they're not like the life of the party compared to like the high eyes. They are the reassuring or the easygoing types of people. And the SCs, so combination naman ng S and C sa baba, are the humble and self-effacing personalities. So again, careers that would be best for people with S personality. So S personalities are also the what we call, or who we call, the caregivers, or the carers of the group, 'di ba? Kasi they want to make sure that everyone is, feeling that everyone's okay, na everyone's feeling accepted, everyone is being accommodated, and all. So a person with a very high S personality may want to look at careers that allows them to show their care for others. So as you can see, careers in the nursing, or medical field, you can see yan, doctor, di ba? Doctor, dentist, nurse, and even a counselor, and let's say like a school counselor or something like that. And then the best fields, like I mentioned, are medicine, therapy, even customer service, because it's also a way for you to show to provide service and to show how you care to the other person or to other people. And other positions, assistant positions that help you aid in the success of a project or of another person. Anyone with an SI personality naman may also transition, same careers, pero may also transition to careers that allow them to also become parang not only of service, but also to influence other people, such as teachers, or advisors, or therapists as well, because they can use their I personality to parang motivate, or to encourage another person to do something out of their that other aspect of their personality. And then the SC, again, because these are like more of the shy type people, but they're very steady. Gusto nila, they're okay with everyone. At the same time, everything is in place. There's a process, and it's being followed, and everyone is following it, and everyone is okay with it. Walang what do you call that? Parang negative reaction dun sa mga process and system. So positions that don't really require a lot of parang managing or bossing people around is what would work best for people with an SC personality. So as a researcher, for example, or as an accountant, or a service technician, scientists, so those are some careers that you can consider if you have a personality of an S and a C combined, because not only will it allow you to be in good terms with everyone, but it also allows you to maintain a certain structure, or a certain um, system with whatever you do. And then finally, we'll talk about the C styles, or the compliant personalities. Anyone with a C personality again, are those that are very systematic. They like to work on their own because, they want to make sure na everything is done in order, walang nami-miss out, walang mali sa mga details and all. um, People with C personalities mixed with an S are again the shy, reserved kinds of people. They're also very composed in such a way that they want to make sure then that they don't offend anyone. But they're also maintaining a certain parang persona that they are um, kumbaga parang walang bahid na walang bahid dungis ba yun? Or something like that. But I mean, you know what I mean. I'm just throwing that word out, but it's not really I mean, I could probably explain that better, but that's sort of what I mean. And then people with CD personalities naman, so this is a mix of compliant and dominant, are those that are more realistic naman. So they're focused mainly on goals and making sure that it's done properly, walang mali, walang sablay, and all that other things. So, again, looking at the careers that are best for these kinds of personalities, as a C, because you are very much into process and um, system and details, jobs as an engineer, as a scientist, developer, systems administrator, data scientist, investment analyst, these are some of the careers that you may look into. And being here in Stack League, I believe some of you, or I guess a lot of you here, are also in this kind of career, no more on the developer side of things. So I think you would understand and you would agree with me that it's very important for you to have a C personality in you if this is really the career that you want to pursue, because details are very important, process are very important, a process flow is very important, especially for developers or for anyone working in the technology industry. So I hope that when you do take this assessment that you have that C in you. Otherwise, we will show you naman, or I will share with you, not show you, I will share with you later some of the things that you can do to build on your tendencies or your personalities, to lean towards this kind of personality if it's what you really need in your career and you really want to excel in a career that you're in now. Now, if you're someone with a mix of an S, again, we mentioned that kanina dun sa SC, so it's almost the same. But because you have a higher C component in your personality, again, anything that has to do with a lot of working with details, working with strategy, with system is what would work for you. So as a researcher, as a systems administrator, scientist, or accountant. And then finally, someone with a C D personality. Again, the D stands for being dominant and being the manager kind or the leader kind of personality. So having a good mix of a C and a D will help you become a very good, say, business strategist or CFO, because finances are very critical. Director positions or officer positions, or even as an architect. So those are some of the things that can be considered as a career by people with a CD personality. So that's it. So that's the first part of this discussion. Like, what are some of the careers? And again, I'm not saying that kung kunyari you take up the assessment and then it turns out that this is your personality, kailangan mo na magbago ng career altogether because you realize, oh, sabi ni Tanya, dun sa discussion namin, kapag daw CS yung personality, kailangan ito yung career. That's not really the case here. So what we're trying to show you is that um, a person's trait or personality trait may affect your how you will excel in a career that you choose. Kasi nga, it matches with your personality. Like a career matches with your personality, yung vibe mo, yung preferences mo. So it's easier for you to navigate in a certain career based on your personality tendencies. If it's again not something that you can consider at the moment, because there are other factors, of course, that you will have to consider when you're either career transitioning or building up a career for yourself, whether it's something to do with, you know, your priorities at home, your priority as a breadwinner, or something like that. So of course, we're not going to take that away. But in case you're someone stuck in that parang, and I was when I was in my 20s, and I think ang majority of our viewers right now are in the same age range. When I was in my early to mid 20s, I was, having some crisis, di ba? Ganong crisis to parang, ano ba talagang gusto kong gawin sa buhay? Kasi I've been doing a lot of things. I've been trying out several, different types of careers, different positions in like corporate or BPO, or even, iba-ibang industries. And then parang hindi ko mahanap what is it that I really want. And it was difficult for me to do that then because there was no guide. I didn't even know about this back then. So kumbaga, I have to like parang go with my gut feel, sorry, gut feel. But then now that we have this kind of session, hopefully it has enlightened you or it has helped you realize na parang, oh nga no, because my personality is um, this kind of career or job may actually work well for me. So if this is not the kind of career that you have at the moment, or not something that you're looking at the moment, but you see that it's medyo something workable for you or something feasible for you to do in the future, you might also want to consider this, unless you will shift your personality style or your preferences to um a different type altogether. And that's actually possible. So because we were talking about jobs or your current job right now and what we have just discussed, is your job actually aligned with your disc style? And if it is very good, it means that you probably have found the industry or the career that would suit you best, and that will help you excel and grow and develop yourself personally or professionally. And baka dito ka na tumanda, dito ka na rin mag-retire, which is very good for you. But for those who are not aligned with their personality styles, have you already considered maybe switching to a different career? And if you have, maybe, and I hope that this session or the first part of our discussion has helped you determine some of the possible jobs or careers that you can look into should you want to transition. All right. So now let's talk about what are the best work environments for each personality style. So by work environment, we're talking about um, not just the company itself, and the culture that they have, but also the kind of team that you can work best with. And this is something that's usually overlooked by a lot of people when they look for jobs, because you can't really see it right away. You apply for a job, but you don't know what kind of people you will be working with. You don't know what kind of company culture they have. And usually, ito yung nagko-cause din ng burnout to some people or to a lot of people, because they realize that the environment that they're on does not really match. Kumbaga yung energy nila is hindi match dun sa environment or dun sa culture ng company that they have applied to. So it's also something that we recommend that you look into when you are to look for jobs, or if you are transitioning to a new one. Ako actually, when I talk about interview sessions, because I also conduct CV writing sessions or how to answer job interview questions. One of the things that I tell people to ask during an interview is, what kind of company culture do you have, or um, what kind of like team will I be working with, 'di ba? Having a general idea kasi of the kumbaga the vibe of the people that you will be working with would already help you determine whether this is actually the best job for you to take or not. And again, while not everyone has the liberty to choose, 'di ba? To choose who they will be working with, or to choose even kung ano talagang, 'di ba, maraming option kung anong trabaho ang tatanggapin, it's something that you can consider still if you have that luxury to spare. Na if you can make that decision na parang pwede kang mamili na okay, so this company is kumbaga medyo traditional and they're very strict, they won't or parang I feel like mare-restrict yung creativity ko, or that I won't be able to to parang enjoy time around people because it's all work work work, then that's also something that you want to consider when you are whether you are going to take that job or not. Needless to say, here are some of the recommendations, or well, not recommendations, but more of observations and recommendations then of work environments for each personality style. So again, we start with the D. The D styles, or the the captains, are the kinds of people that tend to be very assertive, intense, and ambitious. So the ideal environment for them is anything that's fast paced, yung mabilis. When you give an order to someone, babalik sa agad yung either result or yung sagot dun sa tanong mo, and it allows them to act quickly and achieve set goals, because D personalities are yun nga, they're very assertive and they're very intense. So parang if I ask you something, I want the answer now. If I ask you for a report, you need to give it to me urgently, parang ganon. And these people enjoy working with other people, other motivated people, who allow them to take charge or work independently, because it's very important for the personalities to have control, right? To take charge and to lead. So giving them the option or the ability to lead either a team, otherwise, make decisions on their own, would be the best or most ideal environment for them. Next, we talk about the DC. So again, the people with a mix of dominant and compliant personalities. These are referred to as like the architects of the D personalities, or I mean, sorry, the DiSC personalities. So they are very intense as well, because they have it in their D traits. They're also strong-willed and very purposeful. So an ideal environment for them would be one that gives them um, parang tight deadlines to accomplish goals, and work independently, or be in a position that allows them to manage and direct others, diba? They like to be in control. At the same time, they also want to direct people on how to do things para they can accomplish goals. So yon. And then we have the DI people, dominant and influencing people. So these are the very decisive and very persuasive kinds of people. So an environment where they can produce immediate results, and make tangible progress, is best. And if they are given the option, or the position to lead and manage other people, again because of their D component, or the D personality, then dun sila mag-enjoy. So if you are a D person or of a D personality, and you are put in a position where you will have to only take orders from people, hindi ikaw yung nagli-lead, hindi ikaw ang nagma-manage, tell me, it's very difficult, right? Because you want to take charge pero hindi ka mabigyan ng ganong opportunity. So for the personality types, that's always the issue. If they are put in a position, or if they are in a job na parang hindi nila masabi yung gusto nilang sabihin, hindi sila makapagbigay ng feedback or comment, that makes it very difficult for them to work or to excel in that kind of environment. So if you have the D in you, you have to look for a position, or you have to look for a job that gives you that ability to maybe not lead a certain group of people, but at least be able to work independently and to make decisions on your own, and to not have to just rely on another person bossing you around, because for sure that will make it difficult for you to work in that kind of work environment. And while we understand that not everyone starts as a boss, there are positions that will, even like, entry level positions that have minimal supervision from other people, where you can work independently and make decisions and take charge of the whole project on your own. So that's probably something that you want to consider. Right? So next, we look at the I styles again. So again, we look at the high I people, or the motivators. These are, the very outgoing people, the enthusiastic kind. So environment that's best for them are those where they can use their verbal skills to um, to communicate and to persuade others. Kasi yun ang biggest strong point nila. And it's important. No, it's important for people with I personalities to be heard. Gusto nila yung gano'n, that they are, parang they are given the platform to talk to people, to communicate to people, whether may sense yung sinasabi nila or not, the ability to actually, talk to people and, just say whatever they want to say to a crowd and encourage them or persuade them or just to give out their inputs is very important for them. So if you put this kind of person in an environment, most of the eyes actually, if you put them in an environment that they can't say, you know, or they can't communicate, you restrict them from talking or from for communicating or using their communication skills to persuade others, it will um, unfortunately frustrate them. So if you have that personality, you need to find again a job that allows you to be open or to be vocal about your ideas, to to also express your creativity or your artistic side then, if you have it. And then we have the ID people or the influencers, which are, again, very energetic and engaging people. They're referred to as the influencers, having, the ability to command people and affect them in a certain way with their I and D mix. So an environment where they can regularly meet new people and motivate coworkers with creative ideas is what's going to work best for them. So remember, when we were talking about ID careers earlier, positions as a manager or as a CEO, yung mga ganong klaseng trabaho or sales jobs, um, will help them, get to meet new people, or they get to motivate not just their coworkers, but other people with their creative ideas, or through their creative ideas is what or is where they will excel the most. And then the IS naman, the IS people are those that allow, or sorry, balik ako doon. Ayan. So the IS are the encouragers, which the best or the most ideal environment for them is one where they can work closely with other people. Kasi nga as an S, you want to be, like you want to have like a good relationship with other people. So you want to be working closely with other people and utilize your skill or their skills in diplomacy. So you get to communicate at the same time, you get to build a good relationship with another person. All right. So we'll move on to RS personality styles and workplace environment that's best for them. For the S personality, one that is predictable and calm and collaborative is what will work best for them. Remember, the S personalities are the supporters or the people that like to show that they care. They like to help people out. So, anything that's not too parang magulo, just steady and gives them an opportunity to work with the team or to support other team members is what will be best for them. So, a team or a company that is um, giving them the opportunity to engage with other people, pero the job is stable, kumbaga hindi siya pabago-bago on a daily basis, it's consistent, is what's ideal for the type S personality. While for SIs naman, these are, the counselors or, the empathetic types of S personality. So, um, an environment naman or a culture that's peaceful and welcoming. Yung mga bawal ang bully, bawal ang ang tawag dun, well, bossy in such actually kasi yun talaga yung kalaban parati ng SA. They don't really work well with the D personalities because they're exact opposites. So anything that's laid back, it's peaceful, um, but they get to still work with other people in harmony is what will make an SI personality be successful in their jobs. And then finally, the SC or the planners are those that require or that would work well in a routine oriented environment. paulit-ulit lang yung ginagawa, you get to be steady because, alam mo na yung gagawin mo on a daily basis. And this is something common actually in a lot of jobs. Marami kayong mamimit na ganyan na they're happy with what they're doing because they have created their own parang comfort zone. Kahit na paulit-ulit yung ginagawa nila, they're okay with it because they know that this is something that they can do very well at, and that it gives also these people the environment, or it gives them the opportunity to think through decisions, while they're also considering other people, and organize the information effectively kasi alam na nila kung anong gagawin eh. It's routine oriented, so it's the same thing over and over and over. It's predictable, but alam nila kung saan i-inject yung mga changes if ever there's a need for that, if they need to make adjustments for other people as well. All right. Oops. Now we go to our C styles. So the C personality, again, the high C personality are the analysts. So anything that is private and independent, or an environment na hindi sila, as much as possible, they're not working with a lot of people, um, or an environment where they can take enough time to do their own work with precision, with accuracy, tas yung talagang walang-walang mali, that's very important for them. So if you remember yung mga C personalities natin kanina, or the C careers, are mga parang careers as scientists, or mga anything data, what do you call that, developers, diba? And I mean, as far as I've worked, I mean, I didn't work as a developer, but I know I've worked with several developers of our website. And I know that these are the kinds of people that do not want to be bothered when they're focused on, programming. And di mo sila pwedeng talagang kulitin when they're doing something, they're focused on something. So an environment that's very private, or maybe with less interaction with other people, and just allow them to be, to focus on what they're doing, para walang maging mali, is what's best for them. So if you put these kinds of people in an environment na maraming maingay sa paligid, maraming lakad ng lakad, maraming tanong ng tanong, they are probably going to be very irritated and they won't be able to do their jobs really well. So you have to look for either a career, or for um, um, a team or a company culture that will give you that privacy that you're looking for, as a C personality. And then the CS naman would work best in a subdued work environment. So one that allows them plenty of space to work on their own, but also um, have clear expectations set of them, and have consistent schedule. Because remember, um, the S personalities are very steady people, and they don't want a lot of change, but at the same time, because they have that C trait in them, so it has to be kumbaga klaro, walang no gray areas, and then that they are able to do it independently. So that's the best environment for them. And then finally, for the CD, environments that are more formal, kasi it's a mix of C personality, so diba, very structured, and at the same time the dominant personality is more, formal, and it's more leader, or kumbaga mas mataas na para mga executive level. So any environment that's formal and structured, that gives them also opportunities to improve their skills, is what will work best for them. And that's basically it. So those are the types of personalities and work environments that each of the personalities can take into consideration if you have that opportunity when selecting a career, whether it's the first time that you're thinking of building a career, or if you are thinking of transitioning to a new one. But always remember that though this can make these recommendations based on your preferences or your tendencies, it cannot really provide a definitive or definitive conclusion on what you should really get as a career, period. Parang pag sinabi na ito yung personality ko, ito lang talaga yung magiging career ko, of course not. So but it can help you or can provide you guidance in deciding whether a particular career path is suited to your individual preferences or tendencies, or not. And that when you understand your own profile, it will be very easy for you to manage your work, your expectations, kasi it suits your preferences. You can already manage din kung ano yung gusto mo or yung ayaw mo sa isang trabaho. You can already, kumbaga, come up with parang a list, a mental list of ano bang gusto ko sa trabaho, ano bang ayaw ko, what are my non-negotiables and stuff like that. And then it can help you become more effective and contribute to your company's overall success because you know what you also can contribute to the table and what you are more comfortable doing so that you can excel. And so, I will leave you with this quote. I mentioned this very quickly lang kanina. Choose a job that you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. Was Confucius who said that, but you can Google it. I guess. I mean, I'm pretty sure it said it's Confucius, but if I'm wrong, you can always Google that. But anyway, so thank you very much for attending this session with me. We will open the floor. We still have some time to take questions from the audience. All right.
Wow, thank you so much, Miss Tanya, for the very insightful and interesting session. And yes, we are now opening the floor for questions. So let's go over our comment section here. Okay, so we have our first question, Miss Tanya. This is from JZ Tan.
Mm-hmm.
Is DISC different from the four temperaments? Melancholic, sanguine, choleric, phlegmatic.
Mm, yeah, actually, in a way, it is different. But the whole DISC personality profiling method is based off of that. So, kumbaga, parang kumbaga, mas ancient na version ng DISC is yung four temperaments from I think it was who was it? Plato, I think, or yung mga I forgot the name or who
Hmm.
was it that who actually started that. But pero yun yung naging basis. The only difference is that the four temperaments kasi looks at the personalities as if it's based off of yung parang mga bodily fluids that you have an excess of. Parang ganun yung basis nila noong unang panahon kasi they don't really have a lot of science behind
Mm,
the whole thing, right? So parang kapag meron kang sobra ka ng yellow bile for example, then this is your personality. You have a tendency to be this and that, and then this is
mm,
probably your reaction to things, and this is the kind of person that you will be. Or if you have an excess of blood, for example, masyadong madaming red in your body, parang because of the blood, you can be the kumbaga parang mas intense kind of person, parang ganon. Pero it was a reference to the kumbaga more scientific method now, which is this.
Oh, okay. So this is like the updated version and
Oo,
it's
parang
more specific.
modern.
Yes,
Yes.
okay. So thank you so much for the question. Next we have from Ichigo. There is a dilemma po in choosing between your passion and adulting. How do I find a common ground po?
True, true. Actually, yun din, which is why when I started my session, I mentioned na though I will be sharing with you some of the parang best careers based on your personality, di ba? It doesn't mean that you have to go that way because there are many other things you have to consider when you're choosing a career, di ba? If your priority is to provide for your family or to be able to do such and such for yourself, or you want to do other things pa, parang it's very difficult to actually parang to decide na ito lang talaga ang gagawin kong career kasi it's based on my personality. But what I always recommend and what I did myself is that
Mm,
I listed down the things that I wanted to do. Like ano ba talaga ang gusto ko sa isang trabaho, 'di ba? Or ano gusto kong gawin talaga.
mm,
And then you list down your priorities as well and priorities and non-negotiables, meaning yung mga talagang hindi mo pwedeng alisin. And
mm,
then you just try to X out yung mga kung saan ka pwedeng just eliminate some of the things that you're okay to letting go of. So parang for example, um if you're the artistic kind of person, 'di ba? Or you have an
mm,
I personality or you're the creative type, and you want to really pursue a career in the arts, pero you know na mahina ang kitaan, for example, and your responsibility is to earn for your family. So, what you need to do is to find a career that will help you still use your creative juices, but at the same time earn for you to support your family, parang ganun, or to
Mhm.
support yourself. And there are actually those kinds of jobs nowadays. If you're a graphic designer, for example, um, you can kumbaga use your creative juices when you're working on your designs, and you can actually get paid a lot for that. So kumbaga, you just find a good balance of what is important to you and what you can contribute, and what you would or what you are okay to do, or what you would be happy to do as part of your career, and then see if you can find a job that matches or that mixes both of those preferences.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Tanya. So, a good balance between the two. You
Yes.
don't have to choose one, especially if you have
Mhm.
negotiables, the bills that you have to pay. So just find the balance between the two. You don't have to let go of your artistic side if you're the artistic type. So
True.
just find something that will help you uh, gauge that part of you, but at the same time, you don't have to, parang pinapabayaan na yung mga
Mhm.
priorities na. Okay, thank you
Or
so much. Yes.
another thing actually to add pala to that is I don't know if this is going to work for everyone, because I know not everyone can work two different jobs at the same time.
Mm,
But you can have one, parang you can find a job that pays the bills, and then practice your creativity as either a hobby or parang as a side project. And then
mm.
when you finally are able to maybe find an opportunity that you can apply both, then you can explore that opportunity. But I mean, that's also something that you can do while there isn't that opportunity available yet.
Okay, that's also a very good suggestion and tip.
Mm.
Okay, thank you so much. Next is from AJ. Can can disc change as we grow older? If it does change, is it advisable to change careers?
um Actually, not just as you grow older. Actually, when I took for my very first disc assessment, it was in 2019, I think. I had a very high I in me, and a D. I think it was ID when I took it the first time, because I was working a lot. I'm also part of the HR team. I deal with a lot of people. I'm also the liaison officer. I do trainings and stuff like that. So I have to have that I personality in me. And then the pandemic came, and I had to work on my own sa bahay na lang. For the
Mm,
longest time, I've been working on my own, and I don't really have to talk to a lot of people anymore, except in these kinds of situations. Na I'm not even talking to a person. I'm talking to my computer technically, but there's another person on the other side, but I don't really get to see you. And my personality has switched for some reason to CD. When I took the same
mm,
assessment, I became a C because um I'm working on my own and walang nakakakita sa akin. So my focus has shifted into making sure that I'm doing everything right, kasi kumbaga ako lang mag-isa yung nagtatrabaho sa bahay, and so I want to make sure na it's in order, it's kumbaga walang mali, because no one else can tell me na may mali akong
mm,
nagawa until dumating na yung report and stuff like that. So nag-iba na yung priority. And so yes, it can actually change depending on your experiences. Pwedeng if you have gone through something life-changing, your personality can change, or your
mm,
preferences, your tendencies can change. If you've gone through a certain training
mm,
that helped you change, or that helped you develop a certain trait in you as well, that can also change. But that does not necessarily mean that you have to change careers every time. You
mm,
can use again the recommendations to determine what will work best for you at that time that you have that you have taken that assessment, and that you figure out that this is your personality now. But it's still based on your preference. So of course, for example, in the past, okay ka lang with a steady kind of job, because you're able to pay the bills, you're able to do your job right,
mm,
you're learning and all. So you're okay with, and your personality is more of an S or an SC.
mm,
But then you realize na as you go on and improve, or as you work, continue work, and you realize na I can actually manage people, and I think I would be a good leader if I, step up and I can motivate other people to do stuff. Then you get to inject that D in your personality, or you get to learn how to be a leader. Then you
Mm,
can probably look into opportunities to step up, parang ganon. Pero it doesn't always mean that you have to change every time na
mm.
nagpapalit yung personality mo.
Okay, so that's also a very good example. I guess with the pandemic, maybe a lot of us, because of the change of the environment, our work environment,
Mm,
we have also changed a few, maybe not entirely, but we have also made changes. So it doesn't mean that we have to change our careers. So if there's an opportunity, then that's good. But it's also important to again balance both. Okay, thank
yes.
you so much, Miss Tanya. Next is from Raiden Shogun.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible to excel in your career even if you have different personality compared to what the job requires?
It is. Yes. I would say
Mm-hmm.
yes. You don't have to have all of the qualities or all of the traits in you to be able to excel in your job, because there are people, especially kasi for jobs that are, kumbaga, they already have like a parang metrics or target set,
Mm-hmm.
'di ba?
Mm-hmm.
It's very easy for you to follow kasi kumbaga checklist na lang siya ng mga kailangan mong i-accomplish, and when you're able to accomplish, 'di ba, you pass, or you excel, you're already parang a good employee if you're able to do all of that. Pero I think ang magiging struggle mo lang doon, ang magiging more like a challenge is to actually like what you're doing. You can
Mm-hmm.
excel in what you're doing because you know it's part of your job and you just have to do it. Pero do you like what you're doing or not? That would be the question. Kasi
Mm-hmm.
you can excel on something but not necessarily enjoy doing it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's why we are also having this discussion of choosing a career based on your personality type, because it will make it easier for you to appreciate your job and to
Mm-hmm.
kumbaga mas madali mo siyang gawin dahil it's something you like, it's something innate versus you
Mm-hmm.
forcing yourself to do it every time.
Okay, so um, you can excel. Yes, you can excel, but it's also a question of whether you will like it or not. Is it
Mhm.
just a follow up question, Miss Tanya? Does that mean you are more in danger to be becoming burnt out or
Mm,
something like that with your job?
true. Oo, it's easy. It's more prone to burnout kasi nga though you are actually doing really well,
Mm-mm.
you might not really like it, 'di ba? Parang pagkatapos at the end of the day, marami kang na-accomplish pero sobrang pagod ka. You're so
Mm-mm.
tired because it exerts, or you need to exert so much effort to be able to do it, 'di ba?
Mm-mm.
Parang kasi sometimes it's not always like 100%, you know, you gave your 100%, pero do you parang did you enjoy doing it that whole time that you were giving your
Mm-mm.
100%? No. So yeah, there's actually a huge chance that
Mm.
you get burned out sooner pa than most people who actually
Mm.
enjoy doing their jobs.
So like referencing to your quote earlier, if you like your job, then it would feel like you're not working at all
True,
compared to
yes.
the other side. Okay, thank you so much. And we have one more from Raiden
Okay.
Shogun. Does 16 personality test equate the results of DiSC?
Yes, it does. Pero
Mm-mm.
if you're taking the mini disc assessment on WorkBank, it's a mini one.
Mm-mm.
It only has, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 7 questions or 8 questions. So it doesn't really give you like a holistic view of everything. Parang hindi siya complete.
Mm.
It's good for general, knowledge of what your personality is. Pero the 16 personality test. Ay, sorry, wait. The 16 personality test pala is a different one. It's actually based off of that then, roughly.
Mm-mm.
Pero kumbaga, they parang they parted ways based on comparing yung personalities to like ano, kasi the 16 personality test is more focused on like one personality being kumbaga being the ano bang tawag doon, may mga names sila for those personalities pero it's not exactly 100% the same, pero they're loosely based off of the same idea, which is even yung four
Mm.
temperaments, yun din yung parang yung original idea came from that, and then it just was,
Mm.
Kumbaga nag-iba na lang sila the way it was being, managed or handled.
Mm. From what I have learned from this session, I think DiSC is leaning towards more on the like the work environment. It gives you is it the same?
Um, it applies more to work
Mm-mm,
environments, but it can be used in other situations din kasi outside of
mm-mm,
work. The only difference, I guess, is that when we're talking about this kasi, it focuses mainly on your not on your personality trait, but on your tendencies or your preferences. So yun yung
oh.
basis niya. So kasi kapag yung the 16 personality test talaga, it tells you that this is your personality period. Ang
Mm-mm,
reference ni DISC is what are your possible reactions to certain situations based
mm-mm.
off of your preferences, parang ganon. And then,
Oh,
they
okay.
can deduce na, okay, then if this is your tendency and this is your preference, most likely this is the personality style that you will fall under, parang ganon.
Okay. Well, thank you for that clarification also, Miss Tanya. So let's see, let's scroll through here. I think we have yes, I think that was the last question for our Q&A session, and that also wraps up our career session for this evening. Thank you again so much, Miss Tanya, for imparting your invaluable knowledge with us. Thank you very much. And to everyone who joined us this evening, thank you for joining us, and we hope this has been a very fruitful session to you. And before we also go, here are some announcements I would like to uh, give to everyone. We have three sessions for the month of October. The first one is we have the Stack League Product PH Basics of Product Management on October 8th. That's on Friday at 6 p.m. Again, that's October 8th at 6 p.m. The second one is the Stack League PWA Pilipinas Introduction to Progressive Web Apps on October 21, Thursday at 8 p.m. And we have another Workback career session. That's Stack League WorkBank career session job search strategies. So it's like a part two on this one. That's on October 27, Wednesday at 6 p.m. So that's it for today's session. Again, thank you for joining us at the Stack League Workbank Career Session, DISC for Career Path. If you also know someone who should be part of the league, please invite them to register now at stackleague.com. See you at the next Stack League event. Have a good night.